Hey guys, welcome back to another video. A little bit happier than I was yesterday. I had a bit of a breakdown yesterday, but yeah, we'll forget about that. Moving on. We all have off days. Yeah, it happens, especially as obviously like parent carer, exhaustion, everything else gets on top of you. But I've got an unplanned day off today because both my colour clients have cancelled. So yeah, just getting the house sorted and doing a few bits, and just thought I'd quickly make this video. Something I wanted to talk about for a while. Well, a couple of things actually that I want to talk about for a while. The first one is I would never be ashamed of putting myself out there, whether it be these kind of things, whether it be about relationship breakdowns, anything. Like, I put it out there. I don't, not necessarily at the time, like obviously the breakdown of my marriage and stuff like that I didn't talk about 4 years ago, whatever it was. I didn't talk about it at the time, but now I feel like people reach out to me because I have put it out there, if that makes sense. Like, people feel like they can message me, they can talk to me if they're going through similar situations, and the same obviously with fighting for services for their children and that kind of thing. And I think people will always talk when they're ready to talk. So I talk like all the freaking time, and then at some point somebody will jump in and be like, oh well, can I actually just like chat to you about this? And I think that's really, really important, that people can find somebody that, because when I was first going through this, I didn't know anybody that I could talk to. I didn't know anyone I could reach out to and just say like, help, what should be going on? Who should I be getting help from? What's your experience of this? What's happened with your child, with your story, with your fight for services? And I got to a pretty dark place, and it wasn't until Jade was, yeah, he was about to turn, I was thinking that can't be right, but no, it is. He was about to turn 3. So when I first asked for help, I'd gone to the GP when he was 20 months old. I've said these things so many times, but yeah, I think he was 20 months old the first time I went. And then by the time we actually got seen by a paediatrician, that's a hell of a long time, by the time we actually got seen by a paediatrician, he was, yeah, 2 months off turning 3. So that's a hell of a long time of nothing being done, essentially. Yeah, nothing. Big fat nothing. Obviously he'd failed his 2-year check, 20 whatever month check. They're not actually 2, they're a bit over 2. Failed that miserably, like way off the scale. I failed because it wasn't just because he had no understanding. So they'd say, well, can he walk up the steps if you tell him to? Will he walk down the steps if you tell him to? I was like, well, he doesn't know what I'm saying to him, so how's he going to follow an instruction? Like, let's just go back to the bare basics. He cannot understand what I'm saying to him. How is he going to follow any kind of verbal instruction? And yeah, he refused to walk down the stairs anyway. I think he was 4 before he actually walked down the stairs. I don't know whether that was fear or what it was, but he very, very rarely walked down the stairs. But anyway, that's a tangent. The point was, I love the fact that people can reach out to me, and there's been a couple of times recently where people really have, and they've been in dark places or desperate places and they've wanted help, and that, yeah, that means that somewhere along the line the things that I do are worth it. And obviously now I work with FIP, which for Families in Partnership, which is a huge, huge thing as well. So that it means if there are things that I can help with it, and the other way in terms of, we go to meetings, we fight for change within those services, because the services are failing people at the end of the day. As much as some of the people that work for those services are amazing, some of those people that work for those services put their heart and soul into it, and a lot of it obviously funding, blah blah blah, but essentially those services are failing people. So we're fighting to also get those changes. But that, yeah, none of that was really the main point of the video. The main point of the video is, people say to me so often, like, stupid little things. And I've learned, it's something my mum always used to say to me when the twins were really quite little: pick your battles, pick your battles, pick your battles. Because I'm quite regimented in, like, I do like things done a certain way and all those kind of things. And my mum used to say to me, just pick your battles, you know, like, some things aren't worth fighting over. So people will often say to me, you know, if I've got a photo of Jaden and he's in bed, he will often be in his clothes, which to me has never been a big deal. Because even when he was 1, trying to get that child changed, obviously I didn't understand at the time why, but transitions to Jaden are a huge, huge thing. So getting Jaden dressed in the morning, undressed in the evening, all those kind of things, even change through the day, you know, if you've spilled something down him, those kind of things, getting him changed is a transition that he's not always ready for, he's not always happy about. He can't dress himself or undress himself anyway, so that obviously still now at 5 is quite a battle that I physically have to dress and undress him. So yeah, he will often, if he's wearing t-shirt and joggers, he may well go to bed in t-shirt what's the harm? He might have had a bath and put them straight back on, but to him that was less of a transition of put pyjamas on. Don't ask me why. That's how his head works. That's, you know, it's a battle that's not worth having. They'll go in the wash in the morning. It's not a big deal. He's not going to wear them for 5 days straight without ever getting changed. There probably have been times where that's happened, but obviously he would have had a nappy on and whatever. He's not literally just sat in dirty clothes. It is a case of, yeah, picking your battles and what's easiest. So in general now, obviously he's in his school uniform. He comes home. At the beginning I tried, right, when you come home you change out your school uniform. Wasn't having any of it. You'd think he'd be like, quick, yeah, get out, get it off. No. So he stays in his school uniform. Even if he has a bath, whether he has a bath or not, because they have a bath like every other day. If he has a bath, he'll have his bath, and then generally he will put his polo top back on. He still has a nappy at bedtime, so he'll have his polo top, pants, and a nappy. And then obviously the next morning, it's not too difficult to nappy off, pants off, clean, because he can't be naked in general. Obviously when he gets in the bath, sometimes we have issues with bath. At the moment, baths are fine. He's even been washing his hair lately, which is a huge, yeah, properly washing his hair is a huge thing. If you know what I mean, you know what I mean. Yeah, so what was I saying? Oh yeah, so he can't be naked. So the not being naked thing, he has to have socks on at all times. He's got like a thing about his feet. You can only change one part of his body at a time. I know a lot of kids are the opposite, and thank God he's not, because I wouldn't want him to be naked all the time. A lot of kids just strip off all the time. Sensory kids, there's like 2 extremes, isn't there? He's the other end of sensory, so he cannot stand ever being naked. So when I'm getting him changed, it's, I'm trying to think what order we do it in general. If he comes down, he's got his polo top, pants, nappy, socks, then obviously nappy off, and then he'll have his breakfast, and then it's clean pants, clean trousers, clean socks, and then do the top half. So then his polo top comes off, new polo top, new sweatshirt. So it's a bit of a, but yeah, that kind of answers people's question, because people are a bit like, I don't know, people seem to think like it's dirty or something. It's not like he just wears something to bed and then just carries on wearing it forever. It's just one less transition through the day to disturb him. I'm trying to think what else. Obviously with bath time, again, like, I'm sure I've talked about bath time before, but we go through seasons with bath time. At the moment, he enjoys bath time. He takes God knows how many toys in with him, but he enjoys it, and if anything, getting him out is the trouble. Whereas obviously I've had God knows how many, it's probably 50-50 through his lifetime of when he's enjoyed baths and when he's hated them. Or we go through stages where he enjoys the bath, which is in the bath, but it takes half an hour to persuade him to get in. But yeah, the general thing is picking your battles. So food, another one, if we're just talking about picking battles. Food with Jaden, obviously huge issue. One I understand myself, because I'm horrendous with food too, as much as I hate to admit it. I always promised myself I would change before I had children, but as much as I've tried, like, it's just, yeah. And I say it, and it's awful, because I would say, the number of times my mum's had a go at me, because I would say, like, how long ago was that cucumber cut? Or like, just stupid little things. It's just like, nobody would even think that. Why are you thinking that? And I'm like, say it out loud. I don't like the look of that cheese. Or like, just stupid things. And she's like, the kids aren't going to eat it now, are they? Like, yeah, my food issues are not quite as severe as Jade's, but as a child they probably were, and now, yeah, I'm horrendous. So, picking battles food-wise for us is, Jaden has, I don't know if I'd call it balanced, but he eats things from every food group. So from a paediatrician's point of view, he's never been at that point where he's needed to see a dietitian, because he does eat chicken, he does eat some potato products, he eats some vegetables, he'll eat yogurts, he'll have milk. So like, he have varied, I suppose is the word. He'll have things that meet nutritional, his nutritional values are fairly okay, if that makes sense, you know what I mean, hopefully. So yeah, he has his safe foods, and if he could, he would eat chicken nuggets, dinner, lunch, all the time. At the minute, he used to be Weetabix, at the minute he has Cheerios in the morning. So again, like, fairly regular, healthy things, but he doesn't eat anything of any colour. He'll sometimes eat carrots, but in general, there's no colour on his plate, everything is beige. So it used to be that he wouldn't touch pasta, anything like that. He'll now allow on his plate, so maybe put like 10 little fusilli, however you say it, bits of pasta on his plate. But he'll also have his chips with his nuggets, whatever. So yeah, it's allowing him to have those safe things, but then adding like something little that he might maybe try. And sometimes he might eat a couple of pieces of pasta. It used to be that he would have huge... Oh, the dog keeps knocking my phone, sorry. It used to be that he would have huge sensory meltdowns. We've not had one of those for a while, but he's not really tried anything new for a while. But it's very much taking things at his pace. I don't allow him to just... I don't know, some people probably say it too. In some ways he probably rules the roost and gets his own way and everything, but at the same time... I push him where I can, and I push him where it's safe too, not to a point where he would be distressed, if that makes sense. They say like he's always found, or he's not so bad now, but in general, like when he was younger, even from when he was like a baby, like at like a month old, he used to scream the whole way through Morrison's. Can't explain it, whether it's, I don't know, smells, noises, lights, whatever it is. Lidl as well, like he's never been able to cope with Lidl or Aldi, and I think that is like the noises and everything else, because they have stupid tannoy announcements that go through the whole shop and things like that, don't they? And when he was younger, people would say to me, well, don't take him then. Which, A, how's that practical? I have my kids 24/7, like how could I ever just always do shopping when they're not with me? And B, I don't want him to become a recluse, you know, I don't want him to not be able to do things, so we've always done supermarkets, but then, you know, if it's getting to a point where he's really struggling, I'd hope they'd be able to tell me. Ear defenders, he has them in school, but he doesn't often use them. Again, he's got some at home, but again, like, they're not used that often. I don't want him to become, oh, we're going out, we need them on. I've never wanted to become, like, reliant on things. Obviously, every child is different. Every child's needs are different, everything else. But for me, I find the best way is just to stay as calm as... I'm not naturally a calm person, but I try to appear calm, even if I'm screaming on the inside. One more thing, let's talk safety in public is obviously another huge one. He used to have like the backpack rain, whatever it's called, and he'd still have that when he was 3.5. No, actually he was probably 4. And then there was one particular day, we were on a day out with my cousin, and he'd got really hyper. And he just suddenly realised, because they have like a chest clip, don't they? So he just suddenly realised that he could undo the chest clip. So then we had a couple of months where he had it on backwards. So he essentially had the backpack on the chest, and it was done up at the back and like hooked onto the back just so that he couldn't get it off and escape. And then when we were getting towards thinking about school, I was like, well, you know, we need something a bit more permanent as he was getting older, because he was obviously outgrowing that background. They might be like 2-year-olds, aren't they, really? So now he has, I can't remember what it's called. If anybody wants to know, obviously just message me. But it's almost like a, you know what you'd see disabled adults have, where they've got like grab handles, because obviously that's the other issue, is refusal to walk, dropping to the floor, all those kind of things. So Jaden has always been quite happy to wear. I think it makes him feel quite safe, so he's always been quite happy to wear like the backpack and then this harness, which he jokes about it being a dog harness, but I don't tell my child he's on a dog harness, but he thinks it's like a dog's harness. But it also, yeah, has those grab handles, so heaven forbid he ever was like disappearing, dropping to the floor, whatever else, you can just grab him. He now doesn't have it all the time, but I do tend to ask him, and often he will say that he would rather have it. Yeah, we don't use it all the time. We used to use it all the time walking to and from school, like bolting. It's obviously the main thing. Although we live in a village, it's quite a busy road to walk to school. But everything is kind of give and take. With Jade, I'm quite lucky that if I explain things now, obviously a completely different story when he's non-verbal, but now, if I explain things to him, like just things like his harness, if I'm saying to him, well, you know, it'll keep you safe and it will make you feel secure and those kind of things. And I think to Jaden it almost feels like freedom, because compared to, like, if he has to hold my hand, he's literally like right by me. If he's on his harness, it's quite a long, I'd say it's like, I don't know, 5 foot maybe. So he can be like a distance from me. He doesn't feel as though he's strained to being by me, where obviously he can see that like all the other children are walking freely, running, whatever else, and like, no, you don't, no, because he doesn't know when to stop. So especially obviously he becomes quite hyper, those kind of rational thoughts of stop, there's a road or whatever else just wouldn't occur to Jade. So purely from that kind of safety aspect, that I don't know whether that will come in time, might not. Yeah, he will say no. Like, I pulled up at my mum's house last night and I was just dropping him off and Ella was coming to work with me and he's going, it's okay, I can get myself out the car, I can cross the road, I'll stop if there's a car and I'll cross the road and I'll go into grandma's house on my own. I'm like, no, not a chance in hell. You might be like, you could be 10 and that will still not be happening, we shall see. But yeah, I am very, very lucky with him because in some ways he's fairly easygoing. It's hard to explain. Not in terms of obviously like his anxieties, his rigidities and all those kind of things, but in terms of actually reasoning with him. I'm not going to, I was about to say I'm not going to lie. I do lie, as I was about to say. I lie a hell of a, like stupid little white lies that, like an example. Obviously like when he started school and you're getting him in school uniform and you're telling him, right, you have to wear this every day for the rest of your life essentially until you finish school. This is it, you're wearing school uniform. And then all of a sudden it's not school uniform and he's like, but why? Now telling the child who's 4, oh, it's because school want to raise money for this, blah, blah, blah. That's not a valid reason. I don't care about charities, school raising money, whatever else. So the reason I had to tell him was I got in this nice new outfit and I said, oh, Mr. Powney would love to, it's because Mr. Powney wants to see what you've got. He wants to see this new outfit and you've got these great new trainers. And then he'll, oh, okay, that's good. Yeah, I can do that. Whereas just giving like an actual adult reason of why it's non-school uniform would have just been like, no. So yeah, he can cope with change so long as it's explained, but it's not always explained in a true, I think all parents do it, don't they? Like anything. Oh, his eye, when he had all these trouble with his eye, his dad, this wasn't even me, his dad came up with this story of how like the tooth fairy, if he kept cleaning his eye properly, then the eye fairy would come and he'd get a nice new toy. So they're just stupid little white lies which aren't obviously going to do any harm, but they're just little things that get us through the day, all day, every day. Oh, and the CCTV, Daddy can see him from, yeah, I don't know if he still believes that one, but yeah, Daddy can see him from his helicopter. That one's a bit of a big one that probably people think he's a bit crazy when he says, but that was where he was bolting into the road and those kind of things. That it was completely ignoring Mummy, but Daddy obviously being a bigger authority, he can kind of believe that if Daddy can see him being naughty, then he needs to stop and think before he does things. So yeah, it's turned into a bit of a long one, longest one I've done in a while, but hopefully to somebody out there it's helpful, or even if it's not helpful, just that it helps to kind of understand, because obviously if it's not something that you're going through, or if it's not something that all those kind of transitional things, rigidities and all those kind of things, if you don't go through that with your own child, then all the things that we go through must seem really bizarre. So yeah, even if it just gives a little bit of understanding to people, it's worth it.